Welcome back to the Two More Cast broadcast. Today we're going to talk about the IKBF tournament that had more controversy than a P. Diddy party. Had more ties than a J.C. Penney's clearance rack. You're not going to want to miss this. All kinds of stuff went down, shakeups at the end. Tiebreakers decide who won the money, and it's all coming up next. Lake Lowell is located just outside of Nampa, Idaho. It's a giant body of water at 9,800 acres and 28 miles of shoreline. The irrigation reservoir is home to a variety of fish species, but none were hungrier than the largemouth for this tournament because it dominated the IKBF Tourney X leaderboard. Many limits were caught, though. It's a good event. Good time, and a lot of good things went down. Well, mostly. Just kidding. The morning would start off cold and about below 60 degrees, but throughout the day it would get warmer and top out at 81, and a slight breeze was forecasted for the event. It was a great day for fishing weather-wise. Couldn't really beat it, especially Northwest Spring Day. Kind of warm, sunny, not windy. It's good times. Good times for sure. The winner of the Lake Lowell event will qualify for the KF&W Kayak Bass Classic that takes place in October. It's a best of the best event. I've explained in previous videos on how you can qualify. The last OKBF video, I'll post that down in the description, a little link or something. Maybe pop it up over here somewhere. Probably I'll just pop it up here. It'll be all right. No worries there. It's also going to be a West Coast Championship qualifier, so the top 25% of the finish in this will qualify for the West Coast Championship, which will take place in California Coalition of Events, and I'll post the video for that as well. It explains more of what the West Coast Championship is in the description. I actually got a paper written on it. We'll do that instead from the website. Big Bass pot would end in a tie. Dean Hills and Kason Cazell both caught a 17-inch largemouth, and as per the rules, the competitor that caught their fish first would win the tiebreaker. So Dean Hills caught his bass before Kason, and Dean would take home the Big Bass pot worth $332.50 and a $100 gift card from Dry Creek Outfitters. Man, a 17-inch fish was worth its length in gold that day, dude. That's awesome. Tiebreaker. If you didn't know, tiebreakers go to who catches the fish before the other person in the morning. It's probably before they, I don't know, does it take tag? Either way, first person to catch fish wins that tiebreaker for the biggest fish. And you'll see later on that there's another tie and another solution to the tiebreaker for that one as well. This tournament had all kinds of twists and turns. And for the midday update, at the 10 o'clock hour, a total of 46 fish had been submitted, and the largest at the time was that 17-inch largemouth caught by Dean Hills that would win the day for him and the Big Bass pot. He caught that in the morning. It was in the midday report, so he caught it right before 10 o'clock at least. And Caden Steiner was in third with 77 inches. Kyle Zimke was in second with 78 inches. And Dan Zimmershed was in the lead with 79 inches, only just inches apart between first, second, and third place, man. The top three would go head-to-head going into the second half. We'll see how this ends up at the end of the day for these guys. We head now to the final standings, where 127 fish were caught, and the top 11 competitors caught their 5 fish limits. That's awesome. It's definitely kind of a shootout, more of a shootout style. Like only 3 inches separated the top 10 anglers, and all of them were just one kicker away from winning the Lake Lowell event, which the 17-inch fish was that kicker fish. Like it's kind of crazy. If you think about that too, the 17-inch fish making your day. It's a good day of fishing, but none of the big ones are really biting, it would seem. But the largies, it was definitely a largemouth festival. They were just catching them like crazy, man. Caden Steiner, Joel Flowers, and Skylar Talbot battled to make it into the top 10. Each of these competitors was just a quarter inch ahead of each other. Caden Steiner would finish in 10th with a total of 78 1/4 inches. Skylar Talbot would take 8th place with a total of 78 3/4 inches. And Kyle Zimke and Kason Cazell would finish tied at 79 1/4. And it would be Kason Cazell's 17-inch largemouth that would win the tiebreaker, putting him in the 6th place, and Kyle would finish in 7th. Another 17-inch fish that's decided that too, huh? So the one that he tied for the deal, it didn't win that, but it ended up making him 6th place. That's awesome, right? Winning is winning something. Top 6 is hard to do in these days, man. It's really competitive out there these days. I'd say finishing inside the top 10 is an accomplishment. I'd be proud of that. 10. These are hard times, man. These people are fishing really well. This was a day of ties. Mark Mackay and Dan Zimmershed would both finish the day with 80 1/2 inches. Dan went on to win the tiebreaker by a 1/4 inch with a 16 3/4 inch largemouth. Mark finished in 4th for that day. Just a 1/4 inch fish bigger than Mark's, man. He took 3rd place for that. Right in the money. Finished the spot, dude. In a day of ties, close competition, and the number of fish caught, it's only fitting a little controversy would take place before deciding the winner of the tournament. For a full explanation of what happened, we'll just go to the Martin Forte's Facebook post. He explains it better than I could do for sure. So Martin Forte posted this on Facebook. When we get something wrong, we own it and we make it right whenever possible. In doing our initial reviews of the Lake Lowell Tour event, we determined that one of Dean Hill's submissions that had been denied was actually acceptable. His identifier was barely covering the part of the fins. We deem this insignificant, which is the standard for this rule. And we'll look at the photo too here. See, I mean, we'll see what's up with it. Disgusting, I suppose, right? We reinstated the submission, which moved Dean from 4th place to 1st place by a mere quarter inches. It's a day of quarter inches, man. Like when 17 inches are your kicker fish, it's going to be really close. Especially when you got, 11 limits? This shuffled the 3 previous top anglers down by 1 position each. The issue was found in the adjustment made within the dispute/waiting period of the event, which is 24 hours from the initial announcement. It's pretty straightforward. Right? The internal reviews, man, for Lake Lowell Tour events came up with that decision. It's probably the right decision. We're going to see here in a second with the picture, but I'm sure they got it right. Why wouldn't they? Right? I'm just glad I don't have to make these decisions like that. That's crazy, especially when it affects like the winners. That's kind of wild. But hats off to him for doing it again, man. Like, I'm just glad I don't have to make these decisions. It's like a 24-hour rule. Don't cash your checks unless you've won for 24 hours, though. Just saying. They got 24 hours of review. Dispute waiting period, man. I didn't see Dean Hills complain about this on the social media, too, so hats off to that guy, too, for not making a big scene out of it. Man, doing the right thing and going through the thing. I don't know who initiated the thing or not, but just saying, I didn't see it. And I'm all over the internet. Yeah, if you look at the picture, you can see that the identifier is barely touching the tail and the fin. That's a good call. It ain't interfering with nothing, I don't think. Nothing. Good deal, man. I'm glad they went back and checked it out, though. Also, though, that white rod over there on the right-hand side, that's an Ike rod. You get those at Bass Pro Shops. I don't know, like $50. It's the greatest rod I ever bought. I bought it for a gift for somebody and ended up bogarting it and taking it myself. It's awesome. I enjoyed it. I lost it. That's one of the rods that broke in that Moses Lake tournament. And that windstorm the first day. That was crazy. Crazy. But yeah, that was a good call. I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, I'm not sure who initiated the complaint or if Marvin just went ahead and decided to look into it, but good call. A good fix. Everything's back to where it should have been. Everything's fine. It's normal. Controversy diverted, man. God. There was no controversy. I clickbaited you. What? Anyway, Dan Zimmershed would finish in 3rd with 80.5 inches, and he took home $303. Michael Mumford finished 2nd, and he took home $909. Dean Hills won the overall, and he would win $1,817 and a big bass payout of $432.50, bringing his total to $2,149.50. That is an awesome day of fishing. A productive day of fishing as well. No giant kickers. And it really held this event together. Like, it like came down close. Like, when there's nothing over 20 inches, it seems like they can really just... And it's a biting day. A day where the fish are biting well. Like, it can be tough to pull out ahead. I mean, that is wild. That is wild, man. This is also Dean's first tournament as an IKBF angler in a kayak. For the IKBF, anyway. I don't know if he's had any previous of it. And he's also qualified for the KF&W Bass Classic in October, man. Anybody who's Dean is, reach out to him, let him know. We'll talk to him. We want to hear his story. Everybody wants to hear his story, man. A rookie came in and won. Who wouldn't want to hear that? I'm interested. My email is always in the description, man. Send me the email. I couldn't find you. I looked. But yeah, I'd like to hear your story for sure. The next events will be in the Tri-Cities area of Washington on Lake Wauula. It'll be a KF&W event. OKBF, IKBF, and WKBF will all be on the same location, fishing the same tournament for the same fish. And it's also the native Watercraft Big Bass Power Hour, which is a huge event too. Huge prizes are rewarded. The more people, the more money, the more prizes, the better. It is for everyone. It's just a growing idea. It's a one-off event. There's no AOI for that, so you just show up, fish what you can, catch what you want. You probably fish what you want, catch what you can, but and just go from there. It's good times. It's fun. It's gonna be a lot of people. You meet a lot of people. Eat a lot of food. There's gonna be what they say, a barbecue concession thing at the check-in or at the submissions, the finals, whatever. That thing, dude. Don't quote me on nothing. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. That's about it. We do have a couple of podcast interviews coming up for this next week as well, and then we're gonna throw something together before the June 15th event. Get a couple people to talk to about their previous experiences at this Power Hour event, kind of what it is, get the new word out there. It's a fun event. It really is, and the prizes are awesome. You can just look it up. Tourney X, Native Power Hour, No Limit. You'll find it. It's up there. It's also an East versus West event too. There's one on the West Coast as well. That'd be fun though, right? Get some side pots. An East Coast guy versus a West Coast guy. Pick them. Put a side pot in. Winner of that wins the side pot. Genius, dude. Just kidding. All right, that's gonna be it for this one though.